Hello, and thank you for watching this regional forecast for the Corn Belt. I'm Major Pritchard, meteorologist with Nutrien Ag Solutions. As we look at temperatures here on Tuesday morning, a lot of cold temperatures across the Corn Belt from the single digits across the northern plains, North Dakota, northern Minnesota, all the way down to the 20s and 30s and the 40s in place across the Mid-South there, Kentucky and Tennessee. So we animate the satellite picture. You can see the big area of low pressure that brought all the severe weather and the rain to much of the Corn Belt, the Mid-South, the Southeast, the snow to parts of the northern plains, with the front extending back to the south along that, with thunderstorms continuing across the Atlantic Ocean, all the way back across the peninsula of Florida and then into the Gulf of Mexico. So still a huge area of showers and storms associated with that storm system as it pulls away. But on the backside, just watching a lot of cold air filter into the Corn Belt and across much of the central and eastern United States. As we look at the radar picture, again, looking at those showers and storms extending from that front across the peninsula of Florida, we've got some very light rain showers, maybe some snow flurries going from the Texas Panhandle all the way across parts of the Mid-South, but really not talking about much in the way of organized precipitation across the Corn Belt as we head through the next 5 to 7 days. Looking at the hazards map here on Tuesday morning, we got a big area of freeze warnings. That's the purple shading that you're seeing here. Again, from the southern plains all the way through the central plains, Kansas, Missouri, southeastern Nebraska, southern Iowa picking up on that, all the way through central and southern Illinois, Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, and then on into West Virginia. And then freeze warnings, or frost advisories extending south from there, even into the deep south. So a big cold air mass in place as a result of this trough. Again, you can just take the flow of the jet stream here and it dips down across the central United States. And so, as Eric covered yesterday in our video, forcing a lot of warm air northward here in Alaska, a lot of warm air being forced northward across the Atlantic. And so all of the cold air in place here across northern Canada, across the Arctic, spilling into the Canadian Prairie and out into the Corn Belt. And it's here to stay over the next 5 days or so. So, a flow pattern like this big trough, what does that mean for our temperatures? Well, it means a lot of cold air. A lot of warm air being forced northward on either side of us, a very cold air mass that in place across the Corn Belt. Not only that, though, it's going to be a drier air mass. So the flow of the jet stream here kind of keeping precipitation off to the south, while much of the Corn Belt here ends up on the drier side over the next 5 to 7 days. Though we will have some opportunities for some light precipitation to kind of sneak through here. And that's what we'll talk about here over the next 5 minutes or so. So going ahead, we'll take a look here at the precipitable water forecast, and this will kind of show the animation well, where we're just kind of plunging a very big dry air mass in place across the Corn Belt, and you can just watch this animation of moisture here across North America, getting into now Wednesday, taking it into Thursday, and again, you're just watching the brown and red colors across this region. This is a very dry air mass being pushed in from the Arctic and from northern Canada. And so as we get towards the end of the loop now, we're getting over towards the next weekend, getting into April 19th and 20th. This is when we'll start to maybe open the Gulf of Mexico back up for business across the south, maybe the Mid-South tapping into that, but certainly not seeing that well northward transport of moisture until we get into potentially next week. So let's take a look in detail at the players here, the ones that are going to bring us some precipitation over the next 5 to 7 days here as they kind of, again, sneak around the bottom of that trough here through the southern Corn Belt into the southeast. So as we head through the day today, likely going to be quiet for many of us across the Corn Belt, maybe just some snow squalls across portions of Wisconsin and Michigan in the Great Lakes area. This is where we could pick up just some bursts of heavy snow there, but not any long duration event or anything like that. As we get into the overnight, we're going to watch a little system kind of sneak through here that could bring some light rain showers, maybe some snow showers to portions of southern Iowa, northern Missouri overnight tonight. And then as we get into Wednesday morning, looking across portions of central Illinois and central Indiana for the chance for some light snow, maybe as much as a light coating in some of these areas. So again, southern Iowa, northern Missouri overnight tonight, getting into central Illinois, central Indiana tomorrow morning, then pushing off into Ohio, watching for the chance for some light snow on Wednesday morning. You can then see the front kind of just extending back to the south. We're going to watch our next shortwave then begin to emerge and ride along basically the same path as we get into later in the week. And this one could bring some more organized precipitation. So getting into Wednesday night now, early Thursday morning, heading into sunrise now Thursday, getting into midday Thursday. Now you can see the area of low pressure right about here. And you're seeing mostly the north side of the system here picking up on the precipitation. And again, we've got this temperature boundary kind of right across this area. And so as we try and draw some warm air up and over the top of that, again, a lot of cold air in place thanks to that trough. And so that precipitation kind of goes up and over the warm front we get the precipitation to develop them, but then with the cold air on the north side, that's where we get the precipitation in the form of snow. So as we head into the end of the week, we'll take a look at the European model in a moment, but just taking the next 60 hours into account, again, here's that corridor where we could pick up a little bit of light snow here, both on a Wednesday morning, Tuesday overnight into Wednesday morning, and then with the system that comes in on Thursday. Total liquid precipitation over the next 60 hours, so taking it into midday Thursday, and again, really just watching this corridor here for that light precipitation to sneak in here, again, Wednesday into Thursday. Temperatures over the next few days, again, we're going to continue kind of reinforcing this front across this region, and so that's going to mean, no reprieve from the cold temperatures as we head into the end of the week. Any warmth is going to be kind of forced off to our south. Now with the European model, this is where we can kind of take another look a little bit further out, but watching the same pattern kind of repeating itself over the next 5 to 6 days. So let's bring it back to this morning. Again, heading through the day today, watching for those snow squalls across portions of Wisconsin and Michigan. Let's then take it into Wednesday. Quiet for many of us, but it's going to be, early Wednesday morning, late Tuesday night. Watching for some light snow across this region. Again, southern Iowa, northern Missouri, getting into central Illinois, central Indiana, and then pushing into Ohio during the afternoon. But the chance for some light snow here Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. We then turn our attention back to the west, watching the next system begin to kind of sneak through the same path. Getting into Thursday morning now, this would be sunrise on Thursday, watching for the chance for maybe some light snow falling across this region from Nebraska into northern Missouri. We'll then head into midday Thursday, getting into Thursday afternoon and evening now, watching for this system now, with some of the snow pushing into the Iowa-Missouri border, into western Illinois, now into central Illinois overnight Thursday. We're heading on into Friday morning now. This is sunrise on Friday. We're seeing some of the snow now pushing into Indiana and Ohio, maybe transitioning over to a rain-snow mix here back towards central Illinois and Missouri as we get into Friday morning. And then watching this system kind of just flatten out and continue to move off to the south and east as we get into Friday night and Saturday. Then we turn our attention back to the south, watching for another storm system to emerge and kind of ride off just to the south of that track, bringing maybe some rain to portions of the Ohio River Valley as we get into Saturday and Sunday. So we've got this Tuesday night into Wednesday, and then we've got Thursday into Friday, and then we've got the potential here Saturday into Sunday. Those are our storm tracks bringing, again, relatively light precipitation. And as you look at the total precipitation over the next week, this takes us all the way into the end of next Monday. And again, you see very dry across the northern plains where we're getting largely mist here. And then you just see kind of the linear nature to the precipitation swaths here as these systems kind of rotating around the bottom of this trough progressively further south as we get later into the week. You can see that when we animate this, the total precipitation. Again, watching first here comes Tuesday night into Wednesday. Here comes our Thursday system now cutting across. Here comes Friday, and now Saturday and Sunday. So there's the progression there with the further south track with each of our systems here as we get later on in the week. But just going to be looking for some streaks here. If I take the drawings off, let's look at the actual total amounts once again. And again, you're picking up here where we flip over to the yellow shading in some of these areas. Let me see if I can get it out here where I don't have so many lines drawn over it. 1 second. There we go. All right, where you're seeing the yellow shading pop up here, this is where we could maybe get into maybe around an inch of precipitation, but a lot of these areas are going to be looking at a few tenths to maybe a half an inch of precipitation across this corridor as we head through the next 5 to 7 days. Where are we going to see the snow? Well, here's a probability of an inch or more of snow accumulating. Of course, this is going to be from some of these areas maybe picking up a little bit here Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, but much of this falls with that Thursday, Friday storm system. And again, where you get the orange colors, that's where we're talking about a 50 to 60% chance of picking up an inch of snow from Nebraska all the way through central Illinois, northern and central Indiana, and then on into northern and central Ohio. So your high temperatures for the next few days. Tuesday, looking at the upper 20s across the north, down to the 40s in the south. As we look at Wednesday, warming up slightly south of this line. We'll get some 50s and 60s going, but kind of keeping the colder air mass in place across the north. Thursday, similar look, warmer off to the south, cooler off to the north. Here's your look at your Friday high temperatures. Saturday, and then just talking about the overnight lows here, because we are talking about sub-freezing temperatures in a lot of areas as we start to look for the soil to begin to thaw out. We're going to have freezing temperatures all the way down to the south tomorrow morning, starting to retreat back northward Thursday, but we'll just continue to kind of reinforce this front across that region. So as we head into the end of the week, still keeping sub-freezing temperatures overnight across much of the Corn Belt, all the way down to maybe Interstate 70 or so from central Missouri into central and southern Illinois into central Indiana, starting to warm up as we head into next week.